Scholars, so today we are going to be working on Module 4, Lesson 28. And the objective, what we're trying to learn to do today, is figure out how I can use a tape diagram to create a story problem. So I have to create my own story problem that involves division with fractions or dividing with fractions, right? So basically what this is asking us to do is to create and solve a division story problem about something. In this case, it's going to be about 5 meters of rope that is modeled using this. So in other words, I need to take this picture, I need to think about what is this picture showing me, and what is it asking me, what's the question mark, and using that, I want to come up with a story problem. So the first thing I'm going to need to do in order to figure this out is figure out, well, what do I see in the problem? What does this problem tell me? So the first thing I see is that it's telling me something is 5 meters. And if I look, see how it's showing me the whole thing is 5 meters? So the first thing I know is that my whole, or the whole amount, is 5m. M is going to be for meters. So the whole thing is 5 meters. And then what else do I see? Well, as I look through it, I see that the whole is divided into what? Into what parts do I have here? I have, it's partitioned or divided into what amount? What is each piece broken into? And I notice that I'm now frozen. So give me a moment. I'm back. All right, so as I was saying, each piece is divided into fourths, right? And I can see that because if I look in the problem here, it's showing that the 5 meters, each piece is cut into fourths. So the question is, how many fourths of a meter is in this 5 meters? So I'm actually going to take it and I am going to think about, it's not asking me to solve. I can solve it, but that's not what it wants me to do. It wants me to create a division story problem about these 5 meters of a rope. So I might start by saying something like, I have 5 meters of a rope. And that's what it says here, 5 meters of a rope. And then what's happening with my rope? I'm cutting it. I am cutting my rope into what number? Well, again, we look at this, we know that it's cut, each piece is cut into fourths, right? Because I'm cutting, the whole rope is being cut, each piece is being cut into fourths. Now this isn't a story problem yet. This is the beginning of a story problem, but a story problem always has a question. So if I go back here and I look, the picture actually gives me a question. It's asking how many question mark fourths of a meter, how many fourths of a meter do I have here? So the question is, how many fourths can I make with my rope? And the way that you can figure out if you've come up with a good story problem or not is, could you solve this? Well, could you solve this question that I asked? I have 5 meters of a rope. I'm cutting it into fourths. How many fourths can I make? Well, if I had 1 meter, I would make 4 pieces, 4 fourths. 2 meters, I'd have another 4 fourths. So 4 fourths and 4 fourths is 8. Would I be able to solve this? Yes, I would. All right, so this is a good story problem. So I have been able to solve this, right? Now, let's look at our next story problem, all right? So again, the same objective is to figure out, using this tape diagram, can I create a story problem where I'm going to be dividing something or that involves division of fractions? And here it says, can you create a story problem about 1/4 of a pound of almonds? That's a type of nut, right? 1/4 of a pound of almonds, and that is modeled by this tape diagram. So here, I'm not starting with a whole, right? What am I starting with? I'm starting with 1/4 of a pound, which means the whole thing is 1 pound, right? LB means pound. So if this whole thing is 1 pound, then this is just 1/4 of that pound. And if you'll notice, again, we need to look for the question mark. What is the question mark asking? It's asking just about this one little bit right here. And so what does that mean? That means that I took 1/4 and then I actually cut it up further into how many pieces? Well, let's count the pieces that I cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be 5. So I took 1/4 and I divided it by 5. And what the question mark is asking me, let me change the color of the question mark, is asking me what is one piece of this, right? If I broke the 4th into 5, how much do I have? And again, remember, it's not asking me to solve it. It wants me to come up with a story problem to represent this. And it asks me to use a story problem. If I go back, a story problem about 1/4 of a pound of almonds. So again, I can start with, I have 1/4 of a pound of almonds. Then what did I do with that 1/4 of a pound, scholars? Well, I took it and I cut it into how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I split my almonds into 5 groups. And then what's the question? How much, remember, look at this question mark, how much is this piece? So how many pounds of almonds will be in one group, right? One group out of these 5. So if this question mark was asking about 2 groups, then it would have to be how many are in 2 groups, but it's just asking me about one piece. So again, I've created a story problem, and the way I know it's a good story problem is, would I be able to solve this? Well, would I be able to model this if I had 1/4 of a pound of almonds? That's what I have here. And I split it into 5. That's what I did here. Would I be able to figure out how much is in this one little piece? I would, because I'd be able to take, remember, I'd then go back in, and what I do here, I'd have to do with all of them. So I cut each one of these into 5. And then I would count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And so the answer would be that it would be 1 piece, because only 1 is shaded, out of 20. And if you're confused as how I got the 1 out of 20 or why I cut it like this, please go back and look at the lessons from earlier in this week. That should support you with that. All right? So that's what the problems are asking you to do today. I hope this was helpful. As always, I miss you. I love you. Please join us for our community meetings. Please join us for our Zoom sessions. We'll be here. Miss Andrea will be here. And it would just be really lovely to see you all. All right. I miss you. Bye.